Discussions on economics. Arts. Should the government provide funding for arts programs?
The arts are an essential part of our culture and should be supported by the government. Without government funding, many people would not have access to the arts and we would lose a vital part of our society.
But why should the government pay for the arts? Can't the private sector provide enough support?
While the private sector can provide some support, it cannot replace the role of government funding. The arts are not just a luxury for the wealthy, they are a fundamental part of our society that should be accessible to all.
But is it really the government's job to fund the arts? Shouldn't that be left to private organizations and individuals who are passionate about the arts?
The government has a responsibility to support the arts because they provide significant economic and cultural benefits. The arts industry employs millions of people and generates billions of dollars in revenue. Without government funding, this industry would suffer.
But what about the argument that government funding for the arts is a waste of taxpayer money?
Actually, government funding for the arts is a tiny fraction of the governmental budget, and it provides significant returns on investment. For example, every dollar invested in the arts generates $9 in economic activity. It's a smart investment that benefits everyone.
I see your point, but can't private organizations and individuals step up and provide more support for the arts?
Private support is important, but it cannot replace the role of government funding. The arts are a public good that should be accessible to all, not just those who can afford it. Government funding ensures that everyone has access to the arts, regardless of their income or background.
Should governments fund liberal arts degrees?
I think the government should prioritize funding for STEM and vocational fields because they produce graduates with skills that are in demand in the job market.
But liberal arts degrees provide graduates with important communication, critical analysis, and problem-solving skills that are needed in every field.
But do those skills justify the amount of government funding that liberal arts degrees receive?
Yes, because an educated citizenry is essential for a functioning democracy. Liberal arts degrees provide students with a broad understanding of cultures, history, and politics that is necessary for informed citizenship.
But what about the argument that there is a shortage of skilled and vocational workers in many countries? Shouldn't the government prioritize funding for those fields?
I agree that STEM and vocational fields are important, but liberal arts degrees are not mutually exclusive. Students can pursue both and benefit from a well-rounded education.
But isn't it true that liberal arts graduates are less likely to find employment than STEM or vocational graduates?
Actually, studies show that liberal arts graduates are just as likely to find employment as STEM graduates, and they have higher salaries than those with just a junior college diploma.
I see your point, but shouldn't the government focus on funding degrees that have a more direct impact on society and the economy?
But the benefits of a liberal arts education go beyond just the content covered in a course. The skills learned in a liberal arts degree, communication, critical thinking, and problem solving, are essential for success in any field.
I agree that those skills are important, but shouldn't students be encouraged to pursue degrees that will lead to more job opportunities and higher salaries?
Yes, but students should also be encouraged to pursue degrees that will make them well-rounded individuals and informed citizens. A liberal arts education can provide that. Should we judge the quality of artwork based on the conduct of the artist?
I believe that we should separate the art from the artist. The quality of the artwork should be judged solely on its own merits, not on the personal conduct of the artist.
But can we really ignore the context in which the art was created? The artist's behavior and actions can provide valuable insight into the meaning and significance of the artwork.
I understand your point, but we should not let the artist's personal life overshadow their artistic achievements. We can appreciate the art without condoning the behavior of the artist.
But what about cases where the artist's behavior directly contradicts the message or themes of their artwork? Shouldn't we take that into account when evaluating the quality of the art?
I think we should focus on the art itself, not on the artist's personal life. After all, the art is what stands the test of time, not the artist's behavior.
But doesn't the artist's behavior also contribute to the legacy of their work? We should not ignore the fact that the artist's personal life can impact the way we view their art.
In summary, while an artist's behavior should not necessarily determine the value of their work, it is important to consider the context in which the art was created. We should judge the artwork based on its own merits, but we should also be aware of the impact that the artist's behavior can have on our interpretation of the art.
Exactly. We should appreciate the art for what it is, but we should also be mindful of the artist's personal life and the context in which the art was created.